everyone, my name is Russian Adam. Welcome back to Areej Le Doré channel. First of all, I would love to thank every single person who pre-ordered our classic collection. Now it is sold out. This time it is perfume that is called By the Kaaba. As most of you know, Kaaba is one of the sacred places for Muslims from all around the world. It was built by the Prophet Ibrahim many years ago as a symbol of unity for all the believers and as a place for worship of God Almighty. But today we will discover a new hidden side of Kaaba, something that most of you probably never heard of. And of course, I'm referring to olfactory significance of Kaaba. It might be hard to believe, but the Kaaba and the place where it is located probably is the most fragrant place on earth. The amount of pure oud oil, rose oil, various luxurious perfume, oud wood used to perfume this whole area is totally mind-blowing. Something like hundreds of kilograms of agarwood is used on a monthly basis. Hundreds of liters of oud oil and various luxurious perfumes are used to perfume the Kaaba. And it has to do with the fact that we truly value cleanliness and luxurious perfumes. It is a part of worship, the essential part of our prayer. And to honor the Kaaba, the most luxurious and the most expensive fragrance is used to perfume the place where it is and to perfume the Kaaba itself. Various corners of Kaaba are daily swiped and perfumed with the finest aged agarwood oil and various luxurious perfumes. Something like 5 times daily, people use a huge amounts of oud oil to cover its various corners. The cloth of Kaaba itself is perfumed on a regular basis. The floor surrounding the Kaaba is washed 5 times a day with Zamzam water. Then it is perfumed with the rose water and various incredible fragrances. Even the carpets also perfumed, delivering unforgettable scent that is lingering throughout the whole building. Huge amounts of oud wood, as I mentioned, daily burned in the places surrounding the Kaaba. Something like more than 50 incense burners are constantly used to burn agarwood to make sure the air in that area is full of agarwood scent. Since many years ago, different Arabian luxury perfume houses are competing in order to create fragrances that will be used on the clothes of Kaaba or will be used for scenting its different corners. But my fragrance was inspired by something different. It was inspired by my personal memories, sitting by the Kaaba and inhaling all the combination of these various wonderful smells. The smell of the Kaaba itself, its corners, the floor that's been scented with the rose water, the carpets, and even the people in that place. As we all know, we require to wear the finest fragrance whenever we go. Surrounding the Kaaba smells like nothing you can imagine, like the most beautiful combination of the most precious perfumes from all around the world since many years ago until today. And this probably was one of my most precious olfactory memories that I wanted to capture in a fragrance since long time ago. Let's go back 10 years and remember how I personally visited the Kaaba. I've been studying in London at the time, and one of the classmates His name was Abdurrahman. By the way, Abdurrahman, please get in touch with me because I lost your number. He told me, if you ever decide to visit Saudi Arabia, Mecca, please let me know, because my uncle has a hotel and you can stay there free of charge and enjoy your time. So I decided to go. I was a student at the time. I didn't have much funds, and I bought a ticket, and I had little money with me. I arrived into Mecca. I remember wearing my white clothes, my ihram, entering the hotel, approaching the receptionist and telling him that I arrived, and Abdurrahman invited me, and he was looking at me like, who are you? We're not expecting anyone, and you have to pay for the room basically. But I didn't have enough money. I remember I just sat there, almost I fall asleep, and I was like really frustrated, didn't know what to do. And then finally I checked in. I paid for one night, I guess. I slept in the room, and then they woke me up. I answered the phone, and they were telling me like, oh, we apologize, we just discovered that you are a special guest that is coming. Please let us know if you need anything. Please let us know if you want to eat any food. And they basically told me that every single day, if you want something, you just have to call us and let us know. All the food was provided free. Anytime they said you want to go to the Kaaba, you just call us. The car will be delivered. You will be taken there. Anytime you want to come back, just let us know. We will bring you back. So I end up staying there for the whole month as a king or as a sultan or something, not paying for anything, just eating some of the finest, the most delicious food, and going to Kaaba early in the morning before sunrise and returning late in the evening, all by the taxi, which was completely free, provided by them. And I had time really to ponder and to sit by the Kaaba and to enjoy the moment and enjoy the atmosphere and enjoy amazing fragrance that was surrounding me. So I had a chance to sit by the Kaaba quite a few times, and I remember this particular moment when I'm sitting there. The floor was just washed, and then it was scented by rose water or some incredible perfume that had this very delicate rose smell. I remember the sun is shining, the floor is kind of heated up, and then they splash this rose water on the floor, and then the man is walking by with the incense burner. A lot of oud is burning, like the clouds of smoke are coming out, and I'm sitting there, the sun is shining, the wind blowing, and I'm inhaling this mind-blowing fragrance of very gentle rose mixed with oud and mixed with the smell of Kaaba itself, that is very, very musky and very, very sweet and very, very sensual. And I'm sitting there and thinking like, wow, this is probably and must be like the epitome, the absolute top type of a fragrance in Oriental style, where all these different components mixed in a perfect harmony. And that moment really, probably that moment was the moment when I truly dreamed to be involved in this type of art of a fragrance, to distill my own agarwood oils, to make some sort of a blends, and to really experience this wonderful fragrance on a daily basis. And I was truly blown away. I was very emotional, and I probably will never forget this very beautiful moment. So since then I wanted to capture this smell in a fragrance. So let's go back to the perfume itself. Sorry for drifting away and sharing my memories with you. By the Kaaba is probably one of the most oriental fragrances I ever created. I remember when Arabian collection was released, some were confused, and they were telling like, how come this Arabian collection represents only soliflorals like the amber, sandal, and oud. The fragrances are not very complex. They represent a single note, and they didn't get the point of Oriental collection. Like, people were expecting something rich, something complex, and I presented this soliflorals, soli ouds, and soli amber, and sandal. And at the time, I focused on a very old traditional style, very old Arabian traditional style, where people love to enjoy their oud kind of pure, and the amber separately, and the sandal. But this fragrance really represents the Oriental, modern Oriental style, the one that people are familiar with, the one that is full of resins, woods, agarwood, rose, musk, amber, and all these precious materials blended together in a perfect harmony. Of course, one of the main players of this fragrance is rose, none other than Taif rose and various other vintage roses. The Taif, some of the Taif rose used here is the royal Taif rose. As you know from Malik al Taif, is the type of rose that distilled only from the petals. Extremely precious, extremely gentle, very delicate rose fragrance. I infused this rose oil with a natural musk and ambergris in order to give it a lift and to give it this sensual, musky flavor. I wanted to replicate this moment when the rose water was poured onto the hot floor surrounding the Kaaba, and the most volatile molecules were rising above and then taken by the wind and entering my nostrils. I tried to replicate this wonderful note of the most delicate rose being slightly musky and uplifted by ambergris. So this is one of the main components. Very, very rare red Omani Luban was used in the top notes, delivering this slightly smoky, incensey, bachur type of a feel in the top. Some herbs and spices, of course, sandalwood, a lot of pure aged agarwood oil, some of the finest oils that I had from the royal collection from the 80s been utilized in this in the base of this fragrance. The base note of this fragrance is something close to the history of Cambodian oud and the history of Indian oud. A very, very silky, velvety, woody type of a dry down. And of course the heart notes are full of lush, rich oriental spices, a lot of rose, a lot of incense, very classical oriental, perfectly balanced blend. It will be presented in the set that contains attar as well as the perfume. And I think it is a perfect combination because the perfume can give you the sillage. Perfume can give you projection and this type of a feel when you're walking by, when you're turning your head left and right, and you kind of smell the aura. You smell this wind blowing and you're catching the whiffs of this wonderful rose mixed with oud and incense. And the attar gives you the most intense, rich, and deep type of experience. Normally, I apply the attar on my hands, I swipe it on my beard, maybe behind the ears. That gives you the lasting power, the strength, the depth, and the complexity. And then I spray perfume on my clothes, delivering this scent bubble. So this set represents the very traditional way of applying the fragrance when you apply a pure oil as well as the perfume together. we will launch this fragrance at our website. Please follow our Instagram, our website for the updates and all the details. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.